Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak English Unleashed. My name is Lucas, and I am very happy to have you here today. Today's episode is special for beginners. If you are level A1 or A2, this is for you. We are going to practice slow English listening. Why is this important? Because to speak well, you need to listen a lot. Today we will talk about two topics: daily routine and traveling. Before we start, remember, listen carefully. I will repeat important sentences. Try to repeat after me to practice your fluency. Let's begin. Part 1. My daily routine. Let's talk about a normal day. I will describe my day slowly. Every day I wake up at 7 a.m. I don't get up immediately. I stay in bed for 5 minutes. Then I go to the kitchen and make a cup of coffee. I love coffee. It helps me start the day. Let's repeat a key sentence. I wake up at 7 and make a cup of coffee. Now you try. After breakfast, I start working. I work from home. I sit at my desk and open my laptop. I check my emails and talk to my colleagues. At 1 p.m., I have lunch. Usually, I eat a salad or a sandwich. It's healthy and quick. Usually means most of the time. Healthy means it is good for your body. In the afternoon, I finish work at 5 p.m. I like to go outside. I walk in the park with my dog. It is very relaxing. In the evening, I cook dinner, watch a movie on Netflix, and go to sleep at 10:30 p.m. Let's practice a question. Listen and repeat. What do you do in the afternoon? I walk in the park. Part 2. Talking about traveling. Now let's change the topic. Let's talk about traveling. Last year I went to Italy. It was a beautiful trip. The weather was sunny and the food was delicious. I ate a lot of pizza and pasta. I visited many museums and took many photos. Notice the verbs in the past. I went, I ate, I visited. Last year I went to Italy. It was a beautiful trip. The weather was sunny and the food was delicious. I ate a lot of pizza and pasta. I visited many museums and took many photos. Now let's talk about the future. Next summer, I want to visit Japan. I want to see the mountains and the big cities. I'm studying Japanese a little bit, but it is very difficult. English is much easier, right? These are things I plan to do. Listen carefully. Next summer, I want to visit Japan. I want to see the mountains and the big cities. I'm studying Japanese a little bit, but it is very difficult. English is much easier, right? Now, let's notice the verbs in the future. When we talk about plans, we often use am going to or will. I'm going to visit. I will see. It will be. Also, we use want to for our desires. I want to travel. I will say a sentence. You repeat it, but try to say it a little faster each time. Slow. I want to travel next year. I want to travel next year. Medium. I want to travel next year. I want to travel next year. Natural. I want to travel next year. I want to travel next year. Now I have some questions for you. I will ask, and you try to answer out loud. Don't be shy. Question 1. What time do you wake up? I wake up at. Question 2. Do you prefer coffee or tea? I prefer. Question 3. Where do you want to travel on your next vacation? I want to visit. Great job. Speaking is about practice. Even if you make mistakes, keep talking. You practiced your pronunciation and repetition, but now we are going to do something different. From now on, there will be no more repetitions. This is the deep listening part of our podcast. My friend Bruno is here today, and he is going to tell you a story called The Long Weekend. Your job is simple. Just listen. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Relax, listen to Bruno, and immerse yourself in the English language. Are you ready, Bruno?
Hello, Lucas. Yes, I'm ready. I'm very happy to be here on Speak English Unleashed. I love this story because it is very relaxing. I think the students will enjoy the vocabulary about nature and travel. So, everyone, take a deep breath and let's begin. It was a Friday morning. I remember it very well. The sun was starting to rise, and the sky was a mix of orange and blue. I was in my kitchen, drinking a hot cup of coffee. I looked at my computer and I thought, I need a break. Working from home as a video editor is great, but sometimes I need to see the trees and breathe fresh air. I decided to go on a trip. Not a big trip to another country, but a small trip to a village in the mountains. First, I had to prepare my suitcase. This is always a difficult part for me. I opened my wardrobe and looked at my clothes. Because it was autumn, the weather was a little bit cold. I packed 3 warm sweaters, 1 blue, 1 gray, and my favorite red sweater. I also packed 2 pairs of jeans, some comfortable socks, and my hiking boots. Of course, I didn't forget my camera. As a creative person, I love it to capture moments. I also took a notebook and a pen. Sometimes I like to write my ideas on paper, far away from the screen. At 10 a.m., I was ready. I walked to my car. My car is small and silver, but it is very reliable. I put my suitcase in the trunk and started the engine. The journey began. To get to the mountains, I had to drive for about 4 hours. The first hour of the drive was a bit boring. There was some traffic because many people were leaving the city for the weekend. I looked at the other cars. There were families, couples, and even people traveling with their dogs. I saw a big truck carrying wood and a small yellow car with a surfboard on top. I imagined they were going to the beach. After 2 hours, the landscape started to change. I left the highway and started driving on smaller roads. Now, I could see green hills and many cows in the fields. The air felt different. I opened the window a little bit. It was cool and smelled like wet grass. I felt my body start to relax. I wasn't thinking about emails or video projects anymore. I decided to stop at a gas station. I was a little bit hungry. Inside the gas station, there was a small cafe. I walked to the counter and said, "Hello, I would like a ham and cheese sandwich and a bottle of water, please." The lady behind the counter was very friendly. She told me that the village I was going to was very beautiful. I ate my sandwich quickly and went back to the car. The last part of the trip was the most beautiful. The road was very narrow and had many curves. I had to drive slowly. On one side, there was a deep valley. On the other side, there were tall pine trees. The trees were so tall, they almost touched the clouds. Finally, I saw a sign. It said the name, "Welcome to Green Valley." I arrived at the house where I was going to stay. It was a small cottage made of stone and wood. It looked like a house from a movie. In front of the house, there was a beautiful garden with purple flowers. An elderly woman was waiting for me. Her name was Martha. She was the owner of the cottage. "Welcome, Lucas," she said with a big smile. "I hope you had a good journey." She gave me the keys and showed me the house. Inside, it was very cozy. There was a small living room with a fireplace, a kitchen with a wooden table, and a bedroom with a very large window. The window had a view of the mountains. I put my bag on the bed and sat down for a moment. It was so quiet. The only sound was the wind in the trees. That evening, I didn't do much. I went to the local market in the village. The market was small, but very interesting. I bought some fresh bread, local cheese, and red apples. I also bought some eggs for my breakfast. The people in the village spoke with a different accent, but I could understand them. They seemed very happy and calm. I went back to the cottage and made a simple dinner. I ate my bread and cheese while watching the sunset. The sky turned dark purple, and then I saw the stars. In the city, it is difficult to see the stars because of the lights. But here the sky was full of them. It was spectacular. I felt very small, but also very connected to the universe. On Saturday morning, I woke up at 8 a.m. I didn't need an alarm clock. The light of the sun woke me up naturally. I made coffee and cooked the eggs I bought the day before. They were delicious. After breakfast, I put on my hiking boots and my red sweater. It was time to explore the mountain. I started walking on a trail behind the cottage. The ground was covered with dry leaves. They made a crunch sound under my feet. I walked for 2 hours. Sometimes the trail was steep and difficult. I had to stop and catch my breath. But every time I stopped, I looked around and saw something beautiful. I saw a small waterfall. The water was crystal clear and very cold. I put my hands in the water for a few seconds. It was freezing. At the top of the hill, I sat on a large rock. From there, I could see the entire village. The houses looked like toys. I took out my notebook and started to write. I wrote about my goals for the future. I thought about my YouTube channel, Speak English Unleashed. I thought about how much I love helping people learn English. I want to create more videos, more podcasts, and help thousands of students around the world. Being in nature gave me so much energy and new ideas. In the afternoon, I walked back to the village. I was tired, so I went to a small bookshop. I love the smell of old books. I found a book about the history of the mountains, and I bought it. Then I went to a cafe and ordered a hot chocolate. While I was drinking my hot chocolate, I started to read my new book. A cat came to my table and sat on my lap. It was a black and white cat, very soft and friendly. I stayed there for an hour, just reading and petting the cat. It was a perfect afternoon. Saturday night was cold, so I decided to use the fireplace. I had never started a fire before, so it was a bit difficult. But after a few minutes, the wood started to burn. The fire was warm, and the light was orange and dancing on the walls. I felt very safe and comfortable. I realized that we don't need many things to be happy. We just need a warm place, some good food, and peace of mind. On Sunday morning, I felt a little bit sad because it was my last day. I had breakfast with Martha, the owner. She told me stories about her life. She was a teacher for 40 years. She loved her job and her students. She told me that the secret to a long life is to keep learning and to be kind to people. I really liked her advice. Before I left, I went to the lake near the village. The water was very still, like a mirror. I saw some ducks swimming and a man fishing in a small boat. I took one last photo to remember the peace of that place. I packed my suitcase again. I put my blue sweater, my gray sweater, and my red sweater back in the bag. I said goodbye to Martha and promised to come back in the winter to see the snow. The drive back to the city was easier. There was less traffic. As I was driving, I started to plan my week. I felt ready to work again. I felt ready to edit new videos and talk to my students. This weekend was a reminder that life is not just about work. It is about experiences. It is about the smell of the forest, the taste of fresh bread, and the silence of the mountains. It is about unleashing our potential, but also knowing when to rest. Now, I am back in my office talking to you. I hope this story helped you practice your English. I hope you could imagine the mountains, the cottage as the fireplace. Remember, listening is a journey. Every minute you spend listening to English, you are getting closer to fluency. Next time you feel stressed, remember my story. Take a deep breath. Imagine the green hills and the fresh air. And then keep going. You're doing a great job with your English studies.
We are arriving at the end of our podcast today. In this video, we practice listening to daily routines and travel plans. If you want to improve, watch this video again tomorrow. Repetition is the secret to fluency. Don't forget to subscribe to Speak English Unleashed, like this video. Comment below, what is your favorite part of the day? I want to read your comments in English. Thank you for listening. My name is Lucas, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.